Hey there, good morning. This is Diane Klein, and I'm still doing this series on this book with John Maxwell, Make Today Count. And what I'm doing is I'm every day talking about what he calls the daily dozen. Now, the very first one was attitude, yesterday was priorities, and today it's health. And I find it interesting how he starts this chapter because he's talking about how he's not an expert in it, and he's telling of his story. And to make a long story short, he's always been a fast-paced person and been very, very successful in his life. So he's not only been very successful as far as in the millions, but also with everything that he started. He was a fast-paced, like he had a church organization, he was a pastor, he was a speaker, he was all those things. So he was saying that he actually never really paid attention to his health. He wasn't really careful with it, and he wasn't paying attention to exercising and eating right and stuff like that. And then he was sorry because I forget which year it was, but anyway, he was 51, and then he had a major heart attack. And this doctor that he had run into before, as it so happened, his secretary called him, and he came and he saved his life, in other words, and he got him up and going. And then he decided to totally change his life around and focus on health. So he says, I'm not the expert on health, but he's talking about what he learned in the process of that, of having a major heart attack. And I totally agree with him. I'm not an expert. I mean, I struggled through my life with, especially having 3 kids. It's always harder from the last child, it's much harder to take off all that weight. But you want to focus on being healthy. You want to focus on teaching your family healthy foods and exercise on a daily basis. So when your kids are in sports and stuff, then you kind of focus on yourself as well. But what I wanted to talk to you here about from this chapter, and he was talking about his disciplines, and he was saying how very important it is not to over exercise, but it's very important to stay consistent. You have to stay consistent, because if you don't stay consistent, then that's where you lose it, right? And he said he found that some people either do it too much or don't do it at all. And that's kind of what exercise is, right? I mean, we get these spurs, and we get crazy, and we're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go crazy and go to the gym and stuff. And for the last year, I must say, I have found myself leveling off on that. I have been staying consistent. I do my yoga, I do my treadmill and stuff like that, and it's really been beneficial for me because I feel much healthier than I ever have in my life. And eating healthy too. We do eat healthy, and we do cook at home, so that's a big plus. But I'm going to read to you what he says here at the end. And because he's also talking a little bit about stress. So what he's saying here at the end is that you need to stay consistent in the area of exercising and keep a well-balanced diet and eat healthy foods. But also he's talking about stress here then. And then he's kind of said, this is what I do to stay focused. And he says there's 4 major places: family problems, communication, unconditioned love, and time together. So the first one is family problems. To avoid those, communication, unconditional love, and time together. If you spend time with your loved ones, you will grow in your love. The second one is limited options: creative thinking, advice from others, tenacity. Number 4, staff productivity problems: immediate confrontation with the person and addressing the issue. And that can be with anything in life, with a husband, with a child, with a neighbor, with a coworker. Staff leaders with bad attitudes: removal. And I totally agree. You don't want to get anybody in your business or sign anybody up who has a bad attitude. You just don't want to go there. Either they have the proper mindset, or you don't want to work with them, and you don't want them on your team. So anyway, so today's question is, where do you stand when it comes to health today? Ask yourself these questions. Have I already made a decision to know and follow healthy guidelines today? If so, when did I make that decision, and what exactly did I decide? And for me, I did decide. I mean, I redecide all the time, but in January and since then I've been really consistent, is that I juice and we eat healthy, we buy frozen berries, and we even encourage the kids to just go to the freezer, grab some strawberries or some raspberries frozen and just munch on them because they're brain foods. So anyways, that's my tip for today. If you're not on our team yet, then just click the link at the bottom and I will see you on the inside. And you know what? If you have a bad attitude and you don't have the right mindset for business at home, then don't do that. I don't want anybody on my team who is not in the proper mindset or who does not have positive attitude. Okay, bye for now.